used in 2017 as the detective being in the wrong. I don't know the word. I think it's my claims were substantiated is the wording that they used. And that detective ended up losing his job over it, and some other sexual harassment, inviting me to concerts and me saying no and all of this and that. Well, I was not aware at the time, but there's a lot of shareholder, stakeholder interest in a lot of these cases. So while I'm walking in from my limited scope of perspective of I just want to do whatever I need to do to keep my kids safe and keep this, away from me, there were shareholders and stakeholders who have a lot to lose based on that case being resolved. And it's more than I'll ever know. Victims of, who have been affected by these criminals or bad guys or whatever you want to refer to them as, for sake of understanding in the video of context. We can go into whether or not they were actually bad and whether or not oppression is the reason and blah, blah, blah at another time. But for the purpose of this video, this live is to discuss the targeting. What has the targeting looked like? What has been done to solve it, resolve it, protect me from it? Not enough, if you ask me or anyone who really knows what's going on. And where are we today in 2024, nearly 7 years later, from the first police report I filed regarding the targeting? Xavier and I just met in 2022. It's 2024 now. So we've known each other for a little over 2 years. And when Xavier came into my life, I was at probably like the peak of the targeting. It was at its worst. I had just been bludgeoned by a stranger with a tire iron. I had, within the last year and a half of meeting him, been jumped and stabbed by 3 women multiple times with screwdrivers. Strangers. So, and prior to those 2 attacks, I have no history of any sort of violence. Never had I ever been, in even a fist fight. So when I met Xavier, the targeting looked like stalking. What kind of stalking did it look like? In-person stalking. Xavier, do you recall a time ever when we were out doing our thing and a stranger approached us, or me specifically, in like a aggressive, or not in a way to be like, oh my God, I'm a fan, but like kind of a negative way?
Yes, I remember all of it.
Okay, so Xavier has been witness to most of this. An example I can give off the top of my head is being in the Dollar Tree. Xavier and I were walking from, as I commonly did during my pregnancy and before, from downtown to the northwest suburbs to drop off groceries, food, and things to my children. And we stopped to grab a 6-pack of water. Anyone who knows that 6 packs of water are only $1.25 at the Dollar Tree of Pure Life. And also Crystal Geyser sometimes. So we go there to get a case of water, or a 6-pack of water. And there's a lady there with her phone replaying my voice from one of my socials over and over and over and over behind me in the line. And I turned to her and I'm like, hi, is she trying to say hi to me, or, what is this? And she made this very creepy voice and face and literally told us that she was stalking us. Or me. Literally said, yes, I'm following you, and there's a lot of other people who are also stalking you, but not in a nice way, not like in a nice way. We called the law, police show up, and what did they say? Just keep documenting. There's really nothing we can do, which is what they've said the entire time. So that's one way that I've been targeted. I've been targeted on social media. I've had 6 or 7 accounts since 2017 where I've taken live photo and video coverage of numerous attacks, either against me or others for speaking out, and published it all to social media, and they have been either stolen, bombarded with really negative commentary that's absolutely untrue. Just you name it, okay? And when I say bombarded, I want to explain to you guys that when I was selling sexy content, so there was a time in between my career in healthcare administration, law, and ethics, and what I'm doing today, that I was selling sexy content. I was doing performances in clubs, hostings at clubs, nightclubs, and bartending and bottle serving and selling sexy photos and videos and other content, clothing and shoes and things of that nature. while I was doing that, I would get, I don't know, 1,000 positive comments, 100, likes within the first 5 minutes. As soon as I stopped doing that and the targeting began, I would get like 200 plus comments that were like, fuck you, go kill yourself, die, like really nasty, nasty, nasty comments, things about my family, my children, my everything, you name it. So that began as well in 2019 when I stopped selling sexy content. What else? The stalking online, the stalking in person, the slander, the smear campaigns. Oh my goodness. They even went as far as to pitch a reality TV show to smear campaign me. This is illegal everywhere. Judges have ruled on the, what is that thing called? The written paper that you make an agreement with someone? Contract, I'm sorry. They have also ruled on the contract for the show as being unconscionable, which means that no judge would hold it in a court of law or deem it as a legal document, as a valid legal contract. They had a clause in there that specifically said, if I were to kill myself as a result of their narrative, my children and family could not go after them for any sort of money or reimbursement or compensation. Which means to me, and this was the contract that was presented to me before I ever even did an interview to be on the reality show, okay? Never even spoke to anyone. When they presented that with me, I changed everything and crossed it out, and they just pretended like I didn't and just literally issued a piece of paper with my signature on it saying I agreed. I did not. I never did, and that's on God and everything I love. So you can add that into the targeting. They proceeded with malicious intention and premeditation to slander me to the masses on this show, and that went hand in hand with a smear campaign on social media, and my online reputation went from stellar, not a single negative comment anywhere on the internet, anywhere, to the opposite of stellar, it seemed overnight. This created a bunch of opportunity for SEO companies to get involved and make money cleaning up the online presence, etc. and so forth. They began boxing in my devices technologically. I have attempted probably close to 1,000 times to file formal lawsuit. I have called law enforcement more than 1,000 times in the last 5 years reporting all of this. Every single time they tell me that there is nothing that they can do, and I will be on the phone with them for close to an hour or 2 or 3 sometimes, telling them what's going on here. I don't want to be stalked. I don't want to be stalked in person. I don't want to be stalked on social media. I don't think anyone does. It's weird and creepy. I don't like it. So those are 2 of the ways. There's a whole bunch more ways, you guys, and they're like more like really super nefarious and like malicious. Like my phone, my devices, my UDID has been lifted from my devices on a number of occasions, which allows hackers the ability to hack into my device. They have been fraudulently draining my checking account and saying it's for protection to each other. They have been fucking with my audio, my video, my appearance, using various filters that are unflattering, taking down my social media accounts, paying people and incentivizing people to testify against me, whether that's a verbal testimony on social media, a written testimony on review sites, or an in-person testimony of my character. They have been incentivizing people that I interact with regularly to be very negative and untruthful, dishonest, blatantly dishonest. I have been separated from my family and children now for 4 years. I've been able to sit down to a holiday dinner in 4 years, since 2020. My uncle passed away in 2019 from cancer. We spent our last set of holidays together that year, and I've not been with, and understand I'm a grown up, and I've never missed, holidays with my family. My children have never missed holidays with my family. We have always, since I was a little girl, since I was born, had Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, at the very least together, if not more holidays and birthdays in between. So it's been a very, very difficult time. I've also been targeted in the sense of honeypots. There have been numerous people, places, and things, influences, as I commonly refer to them, that have seen an opportunity and taken it, that have engaged in sexual misconduct, I'll call it, with my significant others to get them to turn against me. And even more than that, I mean, if a person is, for the most part, isolated to their partner, and a power and control dynamic has been established where if you want this, you know how to get it. If you want this, you know how to get it. You learn the other person, and you have a rapport and a dynamic with that other person. If you want them to calm down, you know how to behave to get them to calm down. If you want to work them up, you know how to behave to work them up. And there are people, places, and things, agencies who have something to gain by studying those types of actions, behaviors, and targeting whatever person has access for an intended response, reaction, etc., and so forth. My phone, as I said, has been tech boxed in. The phones of my loved ones have been tech boxed in or out. There have been numerous screen shares that I have not authorized in any way, shape, or form, meaning someone is in my phone on their own device watching the same screen that I'm watching in my hand. When I write an email, they're reading it in real time. When I, do anything, send a text message, take a photo, whatever. My camera has been hijacked a number of times, meaning there is surveillance going on through my camera without my permission. And this is just, as I said, the very, very most basic ways I've been targeted. There have been such extensive psychologic manipulations and operations that have taken place. I call them psyops. There have been numerous campaigns that have been taken to kind of disarm and use fear as a bargaining chip or a way to oppress. Either the threat of fear or actually, doing things that are very scary, insinuating very, very scary things, and using people's loved ones. I am literally